But has anyone said to you, even off the record, like, yeah, we faked these?
I have very strong sources everywhere on both sides.
Trust me, bro. I have lots of high-level important sources on both sides. You have no sources. Up next, we've got to talk about Candace Owens, because she just did a CNN interview, or at least it was just released, that is absolutely devastating to her credibility, despite becoming recently, according to her, the #1 podcast in the world, and making very serious accusations and allegations and conspiracy theories about Charlie Kirk's death and murder. She apparently doesn't know very much about it and is just openly lying, both on social media and in her coverage, making inaccuracies. And the CNN did this interview with her, with the journalist Elle Reeves, and I'm just going to show it to you, or at least a clip from it, because it's just devastating for Candace. It just makes it clear she doesn't know what she's talking about. So this interview was conducted on September 26th, according to Candace, several weeks after Charlie Kirk was killed, and after she had done a bunch of episodes deep diving into her conspiracy theories about Charlie Kirk's killing, including suggesting that the texts between the alleged killer and his alleged lover were fake. Yet, in this conversation, Candace doesn't even know or understand the basic facts about the case she's discussing. Let's listen.
When you say you believe that Charlie Kirk was betrayed by someone close to him, what do you mean?
I think that in the coming weeks, there's going to be a lot of financial reports that are coming out. And I, first and foremost, do not believe that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. I want to be very clear on that. Whether he was involved, I think the answer is yes. I think that's obvious.
And your basis for saying he didn't act alone is what?
I don't know, maybe the weird Fed messages that were concocted out of thin air that had no timestamp and were written like they were speaking in 1822, among other things.
So just to pause on this, she's saying the text messages were fake between Robinson and his alleged lover, and that would require that the Utah state authorities, the governors, the prosecutors, everyone, and as well as the local police and the FBI, headed up by friends of Charlie Kirk, so Kash Patel over there and Dan Bongino as the deputy, all conspired to fake text messages, I guess, framing this Tyler Robinson person. That's an extraordinarily unlikely sequence of events, that you would have so many people in on a conspiracy, most of whom have no clear motive for doing so or participating in it, and yet nobody would leak that or anything. But clearly Candace has done extensive research about this, knows all about it. She would never make such an outlandish suggestion to her massive audience without serious proof and having done the work and fully understood just kidding. Listen to this next part.
Among other things, their lack of an ability to answer any basic questions about what took place.
But do you have any proof that the messages were made up? Because that would be easily proven.
Yeah, but they didn't put timestamps on them, and Discord came out and said they didn't exist.
This was supposedly text messages, not Discord messages. It's my understanding from the indictment.
I actually did not read that they were text messages.
The indictment calls them text messages.
What would it be like?
I'm sorry. This is shocking. She thinks they were Discord messages. She had already done, at this point, whole hour-long shows deep diving into this case, suggesting it was framed, suggesting that the messages were fake. Had she even read the indictment? Because I did, and I went back and looked at it, and it's very clear these are text messages, not Discord messages. Text messages, but she doesn't know that in this interview. How are you going to make these elaborate, extraordinary claims and not even do due diligence or basic research and reading and familiarize yourself with the facts of this case? And the fact that there are not timestamps associated with them, that is for presentation purposes in an indictment. So they are easier to follow and not confusing. But in the actual court case, all of this metadata and information will, and probably already has been, I don't know, but if not, it will be turned over to the defense team, and they will have the opportunity to independently verify and scrutinize all of the evidence against their client, including these text messages, including by bringing out in their own analysts and experts to put them under the microscope and make sure they are real. So the idea that they would be fabricated and therefore that will never come out and the FBI would just get away with that. Obviously not. You can't just do that and then present him in court and have that not come out and not be revealed. But Candace doesn't care. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's just spewing wild conspiracies and with grave allegations of people inside TPUSA betraying their dear friend with no care for the facts, with very sloppy minimum research. And fundamentally, she just does this because it feels. It's all about how it just feels. It feels fake and gay is what she always says, which is so wild. But it's just a vibe to her. And I'm sorry, but when we're talking about life and death and we're talking about accusing people of serious crimes against their loved ones, you got to have a little bit more than vibes to go off of. And you have to do your frickin' research. And she clearly hasn't and hadn't even weeks after Charlie's death and after she had done so many videos already to her millions and millions and millions of viewers and listeners across the world. Yikes. Major yikes. Let's listen to the rest of this clip.
What would it be like the feds are like on a computer, like typing it out back and forth?
That's exactly what it is. The feds made up the text messages.
But you don't have anyone from like the FBI telling you that or law enforcement?
Leaks.
Okay.
No.
Has anyone leaked to you?
And Tyler Robinson
But has anyone said to you, even off the record, like, yeah, we faked these?
I have very strong sources everywhere on both sides.
Well, I look forward to seeing the evidence of that.
Yeah, sure. Because when we keep talking about evidence, it's like, who's going to present that evidence? Like the mainstream media? Like who are you expecting to come out?
That would be a hot story.
No, it wouldn't be.
It would be.
It wouldn't be.
If the FBI, like if I had a source telling me, like if I had proof that the FBI faked those messages, that would be an enormous story.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we live in a post-Epstein world and we know how stories get shut down.
I have sources. Trust me, bro. I have lots of high-level important sources on both sides. You have no sources telling you these messages are fake. And if you did, you would say so. Yes, I have sources inside the FBI telling me the messages are fake and that they concocted them and that they got the governor of Utah and the local police and the Kash Patel and all these people to participate through this. You got nothing? And you're just saying, trust me, bro? No one's going to trust you on this, especially when you're not even familiar with the basic facts of this case. And it really does come down to feelings over facts with Candace. Listen to this, just a slight little montage of some moments with her where she makes it pretty clear it's about feelings and vibes.
What I do know is we're not getting the full story because I just spiritually know that more people are involved, okay? So I would discern that we are looking, just vibe again, 2 different people would be my thing. 2 different people. I think the person in the maroon that's walking is different from the person that's walking up the stairs. It's a gut thing, okay? I don't know, but I know, okay? I don't know, but I know. We don't know, but we know.
Sorry, Candace. That's not going to cut it here. You cannot make outlandish and grave and extreme allegations and theories and push them to millions of people when you haven't done your due diligence, you're incredibly sloppy, and you're just going off vibes and trust me, bro. That is wildly irresponsible use of your platform, and it is not even anything closely resembling journalism or responsible political commentary. It's Alex Jones with more polish and charisma. That's it. It's really not too dissimilar from the kind of lies he told about Sandy Hook and other things, where it's just outlandish conspiracies with no basis in reality that cause people real human suffering, right? What do you think it must be like to be one of these TPUSA executives hounded with harassment because people think they betrayed and murdered their friend with no evidence behind that? And also you can monetize it and draw attention to yourself and make it about you. It's really sickening stuff. But of course, Candace is the real victim here. And CNN did her dirty, except they didn't at all, and she's lying again. Let's look at this. So, Candace tweeted after this dispute that, quote, "My CNN interview was booked before Charlie died, and it was related to my book launch. That's true. We kept the interview, which took place about 20 days after he had passed, and we told them in writing multiple times that I wanted no questions about Charlie. Despite this, CNN was CNN and violated our request and asked about him once cameras were rolling. So a couple things here. This actually isn't true. But even if it was, that's not really how interviews work. You could request that certain topics not be asked about, but they don't have to do that. And it's not a reasonable request because it's not like she was quietly mourning. She was doing 2-hour live stream episodes about Charlie Kirk's killing, yet you're going to sit for an interview and you can't be asked about it. You don't really get to do that. You don't really get to put multi-hour podcasts out commenting on this and then be like, I don't want to talk about it. It's too soon. That doesn't add up. Like, no, you can't do that. And then the crazy thing about this is it's literally not true. So the journalist, CNN, Elle Reeve, posted an email receipt and wrote, for clarity, Owens, via her representative, did agree to talk about Charlie Kirk before our interview. And this shows that Candace's representative says, thank you. So long as Charlie is discussed in a tasteful way, that's fine. I understand you have to ask. I would just keep it to 1 or 2 questions about his passing. She's still mourning, so it's a sensitive topic. So they actually did agree to talk about it. So she just lied on social media again, nuking her credibility into the sun once more. And it's a sensitive topic. She's still mourning. Even that is kind of bullshit because she's doing entire podcast episodes spewing conspiracies about it and opining on it. So then to say, oh, I don't really want to talk about it in this interview, it's too sensitive, I'm mourning, is bullshit. You can't have it both ways. If she truly was mourning and not talking about it and processing, I would respect that, and I think most journalists would. But you can't be doing that and then claim, but you can't bring that up if I do an interview. No, I'm sorry, that's not how journalism works. That's not how media works. And then to lie about it is just, once again, proving that she is not a reliable narrator of her own life, let alone of news and the most important and grave things happening in our world today. But Candace is charismatic. She's entertaining. And yeah, sure, she might be totally divorced from reality and fundamentally dishonest, but hey, she's entertaining and beautiful and fun to listen to. And I guess that's all people care about these days. But if you ask me, that is actually bleak, that people don't care if somebody repeatedly lies to them, don't care if somebody is incredibly sloppy with their basic research and fact-finding, as long as they're entertaining. That's a bleak place for the American media landscape to be at. But hey, it's where we are. And all I can do is give you my honest take on it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed and all that.